Listen, Final Fantasy VII Remake is an exceptional video game. It's unlike any game that came before it, including the original Final Fantasy VII. I'm definitely going to do a video review of it, but that's not this video. As of right now, I haven't finished it, and I hear the ending is pretty buck wild, and I want to finish the game before giving it a proper review. So there's a love triangle in Final Fantasy VII. There always has been. It's pretty entertaining and probably one of the most compelling parts of the first half of the story of the original Final Fantasy VII. And seeing how this game is only about the first sixth of the original, it was definitely going to show up in this game. There's Cloud Strife, an admittedly moody edgelord who's rather good looking but has a few screws loose. His childhood friend Tifa, who recently came back in contact with him after a 5-year period of joining and ultimately leaving the military. It's not actually the military, but I don't feel like explaining it, so let's just call it the military. Tifa is very headstrong, but also clearly still has feelings for Cloud, just like she did when they were children. Tifa, overjoyed with Cloud's return, quickly attempts to indoctrinate him into her way of living, and it kind of works, until a mission they're both on goes sour and Cloud falls all the way down into an abandoned church into a bed of flowers tended by Aerith, the third point of our triangle. Aerith's backstory is complicated, so I'm not going to get into it. Basically, the government is after her, always kidnapping her and experimenting on her. But Cloud knows none of this when he first meets her. She's just a simple, down-to-Gaia flower peddler who has a penchant for helping people and doing the right thing. And she's not tough to look at either. It's also unclear if she actually has feelings for Cloud or not, at least at first. So it's at this point that you as Cloud have a choice. Do I pick Tifa, my beautiful childhood friend who clearly still likes me, or this new girl I just met who's equally as beautiful and might be coming on to me? I think if it was up to Cloud, he'd pick neither, but he's not in control of his actions, I am. So there's an obvious choice for very spoiler-heavy reasons that I won't get into, but coming from the perspective of someone who's never played this game before and has never experienced this story, it's really a toss-up. They're both great choices. There have been other love triangle-y things in other Final Fantasy games, and those all seem to have their own individual clear winner, but none are as contentious as the debate between Tifa and Aerith. Who do you choose? They're both great for their own respective reasons. Though, here's where the Final Fantasy VII Remake complicates things. Enter Jessie. Now I hear you asking, who's Jessie? Well, I think the best way to explain her is to do exactly that. In the original Final Fantasy VII, Jessie and her two friends, Biggs and Wedge, are minor characters. Yes, they're a Star Wars reference. There's a Biggs and Wedge in every Final Fantasy game after 6. Moving on. They're part of a rebel team known as Avalanche, a group of eco-terrorists. They have maybe 5 or 6 lines each and die very unceremoniously in the later half of the first act. They're never really talked about again. From a storytelling perspective, they're necessary casualties of war. But in this game, they're actual characters with fleshed out backstories and teeming with personality. So let's say that you've never played the original. Let's say you picked up Final Fantasy VII Remake because it looked fun and you wanted something to play that week, but never got a chance to play the original. PSA, don't actually do this. So the game starts out and the first character you see is Aerith, but you don't know that yet. You're then introduced to Cloud, the character you play as, and then you're introduced to Barrett. Barrett is the leader of Avalanche. He's a planet-loving extremist who's huge and has a gun for an arm, and he's cool. Sometimes you try to explain Barrett Wallace and he doesn't sound cool, but you gotta trust me when I say he's really cool. Then you're introduced to Biggs, Wedge, and
have fun. Just bear with him for me, would you? Just keep those baby blues of yours on me. Swing by my place after, so I can pay you in full.
Ooh. Is it hot in here? Oh man. Jessie is awesome in this game, and what's more important for the subject of this video, she's flirty. She actually flirts with Cloud, and she lays it on pretty thick. She's clearly very interested in him, which is more than I can say about Tifa and Aerith, one of which is only implied and one of which I honestly can't get a read on. There's one point in the game where she actually invites Cloud to spend the night with her, and this happens.
Oh. Okay, I get it. Mind letting me breathe?
Depends. Mind coming over tomorrow night? My roommates should all be out for a while.
Are you seriously that desperate? Just let go already.
Only if you promise to come back tomorrow night. Deal?
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Now, the obvious reason this happens is because of the aforementioned death of Jessie, which, if everything goes according to plan, should and does happen around the end of the second half of this game. This complicates the love triangle. Not only turning it into a love four-sided triangle, but I feel like it shifts the quote-unquote obvious choice I mentioned earlier. Now the question becomes, do I pick Tifa, my beautiful childhood friend who clearly still likes me, this new girl I just met who's equally as beautiful and might be coming on to me, or do I pick Jessie, a woman with a backstory just as tragic as everyone else, who's really cute and bubbly and is someone who wants it? Seriously, she lays it on thicker than... So, I guess my question is, why? Why make Jessie so likable? Was it supposed to make me more sad when she dies? Because it worked. Now I'm at a point mentally where every time I do something with Tifa, Aerith, or both, I feel jealous that I wasn't doing it with Jessie, the choice I actually wanted to pick. It's like Monica all over again. And another thing, why does Jessie still have to die? You clearly like her character enough to flesh it out this much, and you changed so much from the original Final Fantasy VII. Why not make it so she doesn't die? Wedge doesn't die, so you clearly have no qualms with changing the fate of these supplementary Avalanche members, each of which I could honestly spend their own separate video talking about because they're all so compelling. So I guess what I'm saying is, Jessie, you're incredible. If I could have picked you, I would. Sorry you still had to die. Our time spent together was short, but fun, and I'm sorry I didn't respect you enough to give a shit the last time around. Now, there truly is only one obvious choice. One that I won't get into because, spoilers. A 23-year-old spoiler for a game that came out a month ago. But will also probably come out again in like 2 years? But, until next time, I've been Thunder, you've been watching Thunder and Lightning. Stay safe, stay clean, and we'll see you next time.